Alright guys, as promised, we are doing a front wheel bearing replacement on my 2003 Nissan 350Z. So I've already taken the front wheel off. This is the front driver's side, as you can see. Well, in the US, this is the front driver's side. The wheel is over there. Got the car up on jack stand, one jack stand, emergency brake on, the car's in first gear, also safety. Now, what I'm gonna do is try to make this a quick video. And we're going to, instead of taking the caliper off and then the caliper carrier bracket off, I'm just going to undo the two 22 millimeter bolts that are holding the carrier. So if I just undo those two 22s back here, which I'll show you in a minute, I won't have to undo the caliper. I can just take this all off as one assembly, and then I'm actually going to hang it up here by a wire, or I have zip ties, because you don't want your brake cable back here to get damaged. So I'm going to do that now. Let me show you where those bolts are. Actually, let me get under the car. Easier to show you that way. I've already loosened them. So this is the back here. There's one 22 up here. There's another 22 up here. I tried, guys. I had to use my impact right there with the 22 on it to get these off. I didn't want to strip them. It looks like somebody's been in here before me, probably years ago, put these on way too tight. So again, I am just going to remove these two, take this whole thing off as an assembly, hang it up there, and let's do it. Let me see if I can just get these out by hand, guys, because I did loosen them up quite a bit. Now, when you're loosening these, I'm not sure if it's going to, it probably shouldn't, but don't lay under this and not expect for this to fall on you. This is really heavy, and it will hurt. There is the 22 bolt that came out of here. All right, you got the washer, keep that with it. Oh yeah. This thing gives way real fast. There's the other one. Okay guys, there it is. I hope those hold. But I've taken that off. We have this free. Now, we need to take our rotor off. Doesn't look like this rotor is going to come off easily. Well, hold on, let me see. Hell yeah. One rotor that needs to be replaced. But I'm just gonna put that there. There is the bearing we need to replace. It's also quite hard to turn. It shouldn't be. It should be easy to turn. Now, to get this off, there are 4 bolts back here. Firstly, we're going to undo the ABS sensor, which just has, I believe, a 10 mil up here. It pulls right out. 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll tell you what these are in a minute here. Hang tight. Let's see what these are, because as we all know, doing videos in real time and not preparing for this stuff ahead is the best way to do it. Okay, these are, guys, 17s. All right, I just showed you. They fit. They're 17s. Barely, but they fit. So we're going to take these off. But before that, I don't want to damage my sensor. I'm going to take that off. Let me see if that is a 10. I'll tell you in a minute. Nope, not a 10. It's a 12. Take that sensor off with a 12, guys. There's the bolt. Sensor. Hopefully I'm just okay letting this hang here. I'll find out, but it's away from the other crap. All right. How do I want to do this? Let's see. Let me try something, guys. Depending on how much clearance I have here for this one, which isn't a lot. Let me give it a try. Hold on. I'm gonna try to fit my impacts on there, because if they fit, oh, we're gonna have a good day. Hang on just a sec, guys. I have an assortment of Husky impacts. I think these go all the way from 13 up to, what is this, 27? So let's see. I have a 14. No, we said these were 17s, right? It should be this one. Yep, Husky 17. If this fits, guys, this is gonna make life a lot easier. And of course, it doesn't fit on that one. Does it fit on this one? Yes. Fit on that one? Yes. Fit on that one? Yes. Does not fit on. Oh wait. I'm not gonna risk it. It's crooked. I don't want to stroke it. All right. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Gonna get those new Harbor Freight tools I bought and use my whatchamacallits, these things, Harbor Freight, for the win, I think. Let's see how this works out. Alright, apparently my camera turned off and I had no effing idea it was off, guys, so sorry about that. Where were we? We got the wheel off, we got the rotor off, we got the brake caliper and carrier assembly off as one. I showed you that back here, holding the wheel bearing in, are 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, and this 4th one I'm fighting with to get off, and it just doesn't want to come out. I got the 3 out. I don't know what happened there, guys. I'm gonna put you back here and hopefully we continue to effing film, because I've had about as much as I can take with this bolt. Gonna do something I probably shouldn't be doing, guys, but it's the only thing I can think of. That is, force this damn bolt out. There it is, the 4th one. Now, with those bolts out, and I know my luck, it's not going to work this way. This bearing should be ready to fall out. But like I said, my luck, no. My luck, this thing's on here solid. I have the worst luck in the world when it comes to this stuff. I hate taking stuff apart and then putting it back together and not having done the repair. Can it be? Can it be? Can it be that it came out? My luck, probably not. But we'll give it a try. Oh boy, guys. We have a wheel bearing. Now, orientation. I don't know. All right, guys, we have our wheel bearing. We have the dust shield that was on here, like that. That comes off. Here's our wheel bearing, looking rot. That thing looks horrible. It is tight as can be, guys. I mean, here's the deal. This thing was making all sorts of noise. Not driving straight, not all the time, but around hard cornering. That's why I'm replacing this wheel bearing. Oh, and that's what it looks like after you take it off. Hang on 1 second, guys. There we have it. Now, since this is removed, I'm going to clean up the inside, go get a new bearing because I don't have a new bearing right now. And then I'm going to come back and make a second portion of the reassembly. All right, guys, be right back. Peace. What's up, guys? I'm going to try a different approach here. I'm going to try to set you guys up here and see if I could record part 2 of this, which is assembly. Yeah, so let me try to do this and see if this works out better. So this part here, I've already sanded this part. Went out, bought a new bearing and hub assembly. Make sure when you get these that you get them as an assembly, because sometimes they sell just the bearing, which makes no sense because then you got to press it in yourself. But here it is. I didn't go for the super expensive one, and the guy there even said, he's like, if you're not autocrossing the car, what do you really need to spend all that money for? So I just bought the brand that they had. I paid 114 bucks for this, guys, and then plus tax on top of that, US dollars. So here it is. It's lubed up. I see grease. I see a lot of grease. So I'm gonna try to put this back together with you guys watching. And hopefully these only go back one way. And don't forget, you gotta put this back on too, which I know goes like this. So the bolts do have to line up differently. They don't just go one way. These bolts, these holes, they line up differently. So I gotta see how this goes together. And then once I get these to line up, there we go. So we know this goes like this because these holes in the shield line up this way with this thing. So I know it goes like this. Just like that. All right. And try to put this in. Actually, let me move over to the other side. And I'm gonna sit down and do this because I think it'll let me film this a lot better if I'm doing this while I'm sitting down. So, yeah, something like that. Which I think, if I don't move this, lines up with that. Perfect. Yep. So like that, guys. Now I'm just gonna go to the back and I'm gonna put those 4 bolts back in. These guys in the back that I showed you when we took this off. Greasy hands are not good when you're putting bolts back in. So I'm gonna try to do this, not F it up too much. All right, I got 2 in, 2 more to go. There's always that one. There's always that one. Now, for this last one, I'm not looking forward to doing this because this one is the one that's going to be a pain to go back in. Now you want to tighten these in a cross pattern so that when your hub is on there, it's not cocked one way or the other. So if you do them horizontally, or rather diagonally, that'll make sure it stays straight. And no, I didn't torque those. You can yell at me if you want, but we have an installed wheel bearing, everyone. Now, as I almost did, don't forget to put back in your ABS sensor. So if you guys remember, we took that out with this. $12mm. So we're gonna put the ABS back in, the sensor. If I could figure out how to work my wrench, that'd be great. All right, guys, we have an installed wheel bearing. Now, I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect this to go as smoothly because I didn't expect this old one to come out as easily as it did. Now, look-wise, they're about the same. Yeah, the OEM one, which is this rusted one, is better than the one I just put on. But I'm not going to be autocrossing this car. I'm not going to be racing this car. This car is just my fun car. So, make of that what you will. I'm going to put my caliper back on, so I'm going to put you guys back where you were, and so you can watch this. Because all we got left to do is put these two bad boys back on. Lining that is going to be a bitch because it's heavy. And put the wheel back on. So, let's do this. And let me turn that fan back on because it is ungodly hot in here. There we go. I might need to save that box because I think it's got some receipt in it or something. I don't know. But let me set you back up here, guys. Now that I've actually thought this through. Perfect. 22s, I think. No. Yes, 22s. Need to cut that zip tie. Oh, yeah, before that, putting on your rotor is a good idea. This thing needs to go back on. You know, I had a feeling I did that wrong, guys, and I did. This all has to come back off because I put the shield backwards and it's rubbing against the rotor. Frustrating? Yeah. Anybody else's fault other than mine? No. I'm not the only one to do this. I've seen other people on YouTube that do this professionally, do this all the time. I actually had a hunch that I was putting this on backwards, but I said, let's see. This is what happens when you say, let's see. You got to redo your job twice. Now hopefully this thing comes out easy, because I don't want to hammer on my new bearing. Why would it? Why would it? not only did I want to not hammer on my new bearing, I didn't want to drop my new bearing, and I did both things. So guys, here's what I did. Let me put my bearing down. This plate, I had it like this. It needs to go like this. Also, there's something on here for people like me not to mess this up like I did. There's a green dot of paint which actually symbolizes this goes on the other side. Straighten it out. Now, let's see if I can do this again without messing it up again. Lined up the pattern. I almost did it again. And now it's not being friendly because I hammered my new bearing. I'm gonna try to do this, guys. The bearing, for some reason, doesn't want to go back in now. So I put one bolt through the back and I'm gonna try to pull it in. All right, that works. Let's do them all again. Oh, and don't cut yourself. First time went smoother. Much smoother. All right. That last bolt's still not going in. But unorthodox, but let's see. Let's see. Got it. Hopefully, that never has to come off again. I present to you a wheel bearing. And a rotor that needs to be replaced. To hold this straight, which a lot of people probably know and do already, take one of your lug nuts, put it on on there, it holds it straight. So now I can put these bad boys in after I cut the caliper assembly loose, which is easier said than done. But here we go. What? There's a brake pad that slid out and doesn't want to go back in? No, that doesn't happen. It happens all the time. Just to be a pain. Put these back in. You know, I was going to run these down with my impact, but they said don't do that, so I used it to loosen them, but I'll tighten it by hand. If I can find the right socket. Maybe it's the one I put right next to it. Those are as tight as I comfortably want to make them. Don't want to strip those. All right, guys, I think it's time to put our wheel back on. But before that, I want to make sure the spin's right. That noise is all right. It's the rotor, because it's not tightened down. There's no wheel on it, so it's just loose. But it spins freely. Let me just sweep up a little bit. This big metal chunks and stuff. I got brand new wheels, tires that you guys know about. So the last thing I want to do is mess those up. There we go. My new wheels. If you guys haven't seen the tread pattern, there it is. Love these. Super sticky. Oh my god, the car just it just drives like a completely different car with these on there, guys. If you're looking for competition level, not competition, but spirited driving tires, let me put it that way. BF Goodrich G-Force Comp 2 AS. That's where it's at. Heavy? Yes. That scared the crap out of me for a minute. Because it seemed like the wheel wasn't fitting over the bearing. Just tightening bolts, guys. Huh? Alright guys, just gonna finish putting the wheel back on, and that is it. Peace. Like, subscribe, comment. See you guys next video.